So now, at TIS Summit, like the inaugural function, now we will have a small panel. And so I request all of you, Consul Achim, Burkart, Professor Lehmann, Dhoya, and Dr. Reddy to please come on stage. I'll just start off with a few questions and some interaction. And then if any of you in the audience would like to ask some questions, then please pitch in. The mode is like this, that when you ask a question, please introduce yourself and let us know who you are, and then place your question. I'm sure that we will try to answer the question in the best way that the panelists can. We are so far on agenda. Usually in many events, you will find that the agenda is not followed. So we have about 15 minutes to do this session. So I would like to start maybe with Dhoya, since you were the last speaker before Dr. Reddy. What opportunities specifically can Indian startups look for through the Netherlands Innovation Network and through the Kingdom of Netherlands projects? If you have some specifics, that will be nice, especially for our digital audience to know.
Yeah, good question. At the moment, actually, I'm quite excited about collaboration that we have between the municipality of The Hague and various Indian states, and it is a soft landing program. So this program, we can connect startups actually from India that are interested in settling or opening up the market in the Netherlands to the municipality of The Hague, and they actually step by step take them by their hand and see for a couple of weeks by master classes, and also showing them ways to get more funding, how to land in the Netherlands and get their startup to scale up.
Okay, excellent. And under this umbrella between the municipality of Hague and the program, are there certain specific topics, or is it generally, is it digital, is it tech, is it sustainability, or?
So this is a broad program for all kinds of startups, so it is not necessarily a thematic focus in this.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. The second question again to you is, what are you doing in the biotech space? It may not be extremely connected, but somehow we see the intersection of tech, bio, and sustainability, because if patients don't become patients, that much resources will not go towards solving their state of being a patient. So wellness and avoidance and how tech can help early detection. Is there something in that space that you would like to share from the Dutch side?
Big hub in the Netherlands around the Wageningen University. And the science funding programs that I've been mentioning for the last couple of years have very much also been on connecting these researchers to researchers from India to set up big science projects. Yesterday we were also at CCAMP to talk about some collaborations on AMR, on antimicrobial resistance, but new plans coming up soon.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you. May I also call Ms. Wiebke Doerfler to just come on stage? I will have a question for you a little bit later. So now I go to Dr. Reddy. Doctor, we have seen that lot of things, a lot of MOUs and lot of initiatives happened in Bangalore Tech Summit. Is there some things that you think that the startup community need to know? Because you have the Elevate project and some other projects, because it's good for, because one thing that I look for is sometimes a European student or masters becomes a co-founder with an Indian master student, and together they create a startup, partly in India, partly in Europe or in the US or wherever. And then are they still eligible for some of those schemes, given that they have an Indian co-founder? This is one question.
Yeah. I have to tell you that we were the first in the country, first state in the country to have come out with a startup policy. Under the startup policy about 3-4 years back, as you mentioned, we have launched a program called Elevate. Elevate is a program where we don't put any equity, but we will give a grant to any good idea, any bright idea to transform that idea into a proof of concept. And many of our companies which we have supported have grown very big now. And only condition for that is that company should be registered in Karnataka. There is no other condition, but company should be registered in Karnataka. Along with that, as you mentioned, and as Mr. Dhoya has mentioned, we have active collaboration with almost 20 countries now. And each country, we have different programs, but with many countries, we have a program, as he mentioned, for startup to startup interaction, taking our startups to those countries, getting those startups here, and as he mentioned, it's called soft landing. And such kind of interactions also we take up from our department.
Excellent. That was really good to know. Now, since Wiebke is here, from the Indo-German side, from the academic side, because one thing that all our audience will also agree is a lot of startups are run by young people, right? So something is there in these young people. I don't know what they eat for breakfast, but there is something unique. And they just come and disrupt the whole industry, So whether we take the case of Uber or we take Zomato, any of these young guys, they came and disrupted and created probably a new segment. So at the university campuses in Bavaria, because you are from the Bavarian Indian Center with a lot of universities, given that you have a lot of Indian students also in the Hoof University, where Professor Lehmann is president, what do you see in the campus? Do you see this kind of energy and excitement to create startups? And can you share something about the recent summer school that you guys did digitally?
Yeah, of course. Now quite a lot, because Bavaria has like this huge initiatives where they set up innovation centers at almost all of the campuses all over the state. Also, focused a lot on the universities of applied science. And these are the universities that are currently attracting like the Indian students a lot, because we see like a very, very huge interest in India to, really interact with industry and to, of course, like we also have a certain number of people that are like really into science and starting up in science, but we just see a huge interest in creating something new, and it's really, really amazing. And you just mentioned the program that we've been running now for 2 years. So before we always used to come with a group of German students over here and introduce them into India. Now what we're doing is we're bringing like Indian and German students together to work on like creating ideas for startups. And it's so amazing the drive that these young people are developing. And especially with the Indian students there in our campuses. Like just the drive and the willingness we see in these students to create something new and to create sustainable solutions for their country is really amazing. And although like all these students are in Germany, most of the ideas they're coming up with are related to India, because they all see that there's a huge potential over here, right? The German and the Indian students. So, it's just one of the things that makes me personally really, really happy to see how these youngsters, getting together and really trying to shape our future, like in a better way, and creating
Thank
innovations
you.
there.
Yeah, in fact, I also would like to mention that some of the startups that pitched, because you had the online summer school last year, they went on and won some awards in other events. And so, it's good that also these young people then mention on their social media that thanks for this training on doing a product pitch or a solution pitch, we would then go on to win actual events, and probably that confidence will help them start. So now I come to you, Mr. Burkart. You have been here from the time of the pandemic, kind of, so you haven't seen much delegations coming in or much, physical action, let's say. So what is your perspective for the next year, as you see now? Do you think things will pick up, and what kind of things will pick up? Just if you can paint a picture.
Things are picking up, indeed. No, we think that we will have an increased flow of visitors coming into India, and we as a Consulate General, we try to foster that process. We are talking to our partners, but we also feel on the other side that there is a hunger to go out and to come again, because, you know, as Dr. Reddy said rightly, you know, there is something you can do via your computer, but that is limited. The networking in between the sessions are so important. You can't do that on a computer. That's not possible. So already we have some indications of high-ranking politicians which would like to come, and I'm sure that also the incoming government will have soon first delegations coming into India. So I just wrote to my ministry to lift up my funds for entertaining, because I think there will be much more delegations coming in. So you see, I'm positive in that.
That's a good point. Thank you, thank you. So basically you're saying 2022 will be much stronger and much more active in engaging, especially from the German side. Yes.
Perhaps I can add, I will do the same in the other way around. My plan is, for example, in January to have a 2 weeks roadshow through Germany in order to meet partners there of different, industry associations, my Indian colleagues in the consulates, universities, etc., in order to make the people get interested in coming here. So it's also an effort of our side.
Good. So you have become the de facto Indian ambassador when you go around in the roadshow. Thank you so much, because I think the more is said, it's better. And now I would like to ask Professor Lehmann, being head of the university in Germany, and now there's just a new outbreak just started in Germany. Do you think this outbreak will get controlled in some time, and things will get better in the next, as we enter January, as we start next year, or how long do you think this will take?
Well, I'm not a prophet, but in spring, I guess, we overcome this situation. And let me underline what he said. It's very important to interact personally, because it's also a matter of body language. It's very, very important. And I have a lot of experiences in education, in presence as well as in online or in hybrid. Hybrid is not a good idea. And so for learning, for having more ideas, it's necessary to discuss between the different disciplines, between different students and professors and the companies, of course, and then you have new ideas. That's maybe the message for this conference as well. This interdisciplinarity is very, very important. We live in a very, very complex world nowadays, and you can't conceive it with only one idea. I'm a lawyer. You can't conceive it with law. You can't conceive it with engineering. You have to form a new world with the young people between the different disciplines, and that's a chance we have with India as well.
Excellent. So enabling collaboration is important. Thank you. Now I'd like to ask Dr.
I wanted to mention one thing. We were discussing startups. We all know that Bangalore is the largest startup ecosystem in the country. So last year, because of COVID, our Bangalore Tech Summit was virtual. Before last year, we thought we will honor the co-founders of unicorns in Bangalore. We could honor about 10 people. Last year, it was fully virtual. This year, it is hybrid. So we wanted to have a physical event. So there are so many unicorns this year that when we listed, there were 19 in Bangalore itself. And 20th, one no-broker property tech company has become unicorn last week. So
congratulations. Let's give a big round of applause. Huh? So the action is here, the action is in Bangalore. Like I was telling Dr. Reddy, one of the key things to do this event, because as we saw a little bit that, COVID kind of numbers slightly picking up, we decided not to do much marketing. We do more online. So we have more people online than we invited personally. We invited just a few selected people here, so there's enough interaction, people can meet. And of course, thanks to Bangalore traffic, some people are still on the way, but they will reach here for, by 11 during the first panel. generally there is this assumption that they want to come for the 9 minute talk, because that clock goes 9 minutes, and they see those corporates and startups presenting. But I think I've learned a lot from this panel. It was really incredible, and I have made mental notes. And of course, the beauty is all this information is available on video online for free. Anybody can see it, and therefore people can then reach out and connect with each of us. Those who are online, if you need to connect with any one of the speakers, please reach out to me, and our information is on the TIA Summit website. Now I will open the floor for just like maybe 2 or 3 questions. So if anybody would like to ask a question, raise your hand, and then our team will get a mic sent to you, and you can introduce yourself and then ask a question to anyone specific or generally the panel. So anybody? Yes.
Hi, this is Sunil Padmanabh. My question is,
Sir, if you stand up, that video will cover you.
Hi, this is Sunil Padmanabh. So my question is on how the Indo-German partnership or the Indo-Netherlands partnership would leverage startups for the smart city ecosystem initiatives, because this is alongside sustainability and a whole lot of areas where they leverage technology effectively.
You are from which organization?
From Digitopia, that's into digital maturity assessments.
Digital maturity assessments.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anybody wants to cover that smart city? Yeah.
Yes, thank you for this question. I think the development of smart cities and urban development is one of our key priorities in the Indo-German Technology Cooperation. Just last week, together at Bosch, we inaugurated with the GIZ a lab on urban mobility. And this is directed exactly to the points you were mentioning, trying to find out where are the needs, what are the points to tackle, and how to leverage startups into that particular thing. It has nothing to do with Bosch as a company in terms of being perhaps a technology leader in certain areas. It's apart from then they have a campus which is only for learning. The living lab will be there, and it will be kind of a core center of German-Indo cooperation in the terms of urban mobility. And I think we should follow up that process very closely and can actually share some information with you, Jose, and you can just
put it on the website,
you can put it on the website. I think it's a very interesting endeavor.
Yes. This is the concept of the living lab, right? So
The living lab, yeah.
Okay, excellent. So this is a very interesting concept, living lab.
If I may add, in my address I have mentioned that when we throw up grand challenges, we are focusing on urban problems only, urban mobility, urban solid waste management, and we throw up the challenge and ask any startup to find solutions. So we have done 6 grand challenges till now, and we will continue to do that. Yeah.
Okay, great. So we have time for one more question. Is there somebody who would like to ask? Or I will then ask each. Is there somebody? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe there. So you can stand up and introduce yourself.
Yeah. I am Father Noel from Don Bosco Network. We are into a lot of skilling of young people. As we are in innovation space and digital and technology, it's really in a high tech, but when it has to be grounded, we need a lot of skills on the ground. AI, for example, technical training, how AI can come down, and all this high level thing, how can bring it down. Just wanted to know any effort is being made. Professor Lehmann or Burkart said about GIZ. We are trying to collaborate with GIZ in technical training and apprenticeship. And so we're looking forward ahead when we want to do green technology and bringing carbon footprint zero. A lot of skills have to be brought down to people in the lower level. Is there any initiative to that level? Just want to have a question.
So the hard skills with the hands, the engineering stuff also matters, and anything.
perhaps I would take a first part of the answer, because it's not only about white collar, it's also about blue collar. And I think that is something where we have to think how that can be done. When I see German companies here which are working in the field of green technologies, they're looking very much into that particular point, and they are creating more skills development that they need themselves in order to also supply the market. But also we are looking in our inter-German cooperation into exactly that field of capacity building. I think capacity building, and to whom I talk here is, I think I have open doors around me. Capacity building is number one if we want to achieve it. We need the people who are skilled, and skill development, especially also in the blue collar sector, is very important. I think we Germans, we have a saying that skills have a golden floor. Means you can make a very good living by having good skills, and we believe in that very much so, and we hope that is also this spark is coming over to India. But perhaps Professor Lehmann, in the academic world, you will add to that?
Yeah, sure. Because we have to build up a new society. In my opinion, it's necessary that we don't discuss only the technology side or the IT side or whatever, but it should be a society 5.0, because we have a lot of challenges in the future, and it's not a matter of traffic or of water supply or whatever. It's for the whole society. We have a difference to India. You have a treasure. These are the youth here, the young people. Yeah. Of course, there is a short challenge as well. You have to find jobs. But you live in a world now where the startups can help you very, very strongly. It's a little bit in comparison to Germany 50 years ago, after World War II, that we had this new this new progress. And now you have it, and we can learn from your side, because we need this development for our society as well, because we have a society of elder people. And it's a big, big challenge in the next few years. And then you can help us. And maybe we can give you a little bit of our skills as well, and then we can form this new world. That's what I mentioned some minutes ago, and so let's do it together. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
And maybe to just add on the very practical side, so Hof University has been working on that together with one of their partners, Vishwakarma University. So they even have like a program running on sustainability, and the colleagues are even here today and tomorrow, and we'll give you insight on that. So it's like one of the topics that at least in the Bavarian Indian collaboration we've been working on with the partners already in the recent years.
So good. I think with that we got a good idea. Thanks for the point, Father Noel. I think skilling is important, and I think the hands and feet and mind and skill that makes the electric bikes at scale, the one that we see outside, if we really have to win in the global market, we may have to ship, I don't know, 1 million of them every month from here to the world, maybe all over the world. So that has to be done in a factory with maybe robots and humans together. And so that skill is important, that capacity building is important. And I really hope that, we can make sure that there is some kind of cooperation strongly between Germany, Netherlands, India, and the US or whoever to build this skill bridge, and we can do that together. So now, being a stickler for time, I go straight to our next short program, which is the release of a special report. So may I request Akanksha also to come on stage, and we'll all stand up a little bit, and Akanksha, come please. So just to give 2 lines about this report, shall I pass the mic to Dhoya? Yes.
So this report, it is written for Indian and Dutch stakeholders who are interested in working together. But I would say the audience is much broader. It is also for our German friends and for everybody in this audience, because it is an incredible story which has been unfolding here in India over the last years. I think in '61 this space program started, and now 50 years later, big steps are being made. As I was mentioning, billions have been put into the space program by the Indian government, but also in 2020 the regulatory framework has changed a lot. which means it's really opening up, which means that new collaborations are on the agenda and are going to be happening. So we are really happy to be part of this story, and we have been making MOUs with ISRO, the Indian Space Organization, and the Dutch Space Organization, and this year also between our leading space institutes, the TU Delft and the IIST. And we just had a presentation from some students and a professor from the TU Delft, and it was almost like science fiction to me. They were actually presenting what students have been working on, and it was a swarm of robots, the Lunar Zebra project, in which together these robots in all kinds of terrains, not only on space, but also in difficult terrains in India or everywhere in the world, they can do reconnaissance missions, they can do data collection. And I couldn't see it quite happening yet, but this, I think, definitely is the future. Automatic, data-driven swarms of robots that could be of help here on Earth. So
I just want to mention that this report is commissioned by Inc. 42. Is it correct?
yes, indeed, we got consultants to work with us from Inc. 42, and
Okay.
it was commissioned by the Dutch government.
Great. So now I would request Dr. Reddy and Dhoya and all of you to please open this and to release this. We have only 2 copies, but nonetheless, more are available online digitally. If you reach to the stall of Netherlands outside, you can meet our colleagues there and share your business card and then send you the soft copy. It's also good not to print so much paper, so maybe we hold. Can we get closer? Then they take. So thank you very much, all the panelists.